Alrighty, here we go. We're rolling. Greetings, dear Pisces. That's you. This is Tarot Lumination, and it's your mini love and relationship generic report for October 2018. You know the routine. Do the cross watching for your significant others. Also, watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if they're all different. We're going to use the Crucible spread here. It's a Tarot Illumination spread that allows for you, Pisces, a significant other, and a third entity called the relationship itself. It's on the understanding that in a truly loving relationship, both parties are aware, hopefully, that the relationship has a life and an identity and a purpose and a mission of its own. And in a healthy state, both parties would invest in that relationship as opposed to just facing off with each other one-on-one, action and reaction, reaction, which is a very limited perspective. We're going to just keep it basic this month with the basic deck. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals, okay? So before we get into that, cards were already well shuffled in advance, but I just want to do some Tarot Illumination Astro Doodle notes with you beforehand. We just share the same information on the monthly spiritual reports, broad spectrum, but it's the same information here. This is the calendar moments. I'm not going to interpret them. I'm just going to give you the dates to pay attention. October the 1st, Pluto goes direct in Capricorn. Okay, probably won't notice it. October 6th, Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio. It's kind of a big deal. It's very, very intense. It's going to trigger things like reevaluations of what counts in intimacy. October 8th, the Libra new moon, okay, wherever that lies in your chart. Sun and moon conjoined. October 10th and 12th, a huge Scorpio stellium is starting to pile up for everybody. October 24th, full moon. Scorpio sun with a Taurus moon, okay? That's an opposition, and that's an opposition happening in the context of relationship. Same thing with the Libra thing. So relationships are going to be really amplified and emphasized this month. October 26th, the Scorpio stellium amplifies even more. Okay, let's keep going. Here's the basic chart. We'll refer to this in a moment. Let's get to you, Pisces. Hold on, I've got to break this stuff up. Okay, I'll come to this in just a second. All right, for you, Pisces, in October, this is generic. Neptune is in Pisces. It's been there for 7 years. It's going to be at least another 7 years, roughly. It's in your first house of self, okay? So there's a lot going on very, very deep inside of you spiritually, especially, and especially with healing and coming to terms with who you really are at the depths of your soul in terms of your divinity, so to speak. But how does that play out in real life? Because the Neptune energy in Pisces can be very, very vivid when it comes to whatever's not working with the Neptune energy, which can lead to things like self-deception, self-sabotage, self-undoing, self-impairment, anything that impairs and limits you, imprisons you in a delusion and loss. On the positive side, of course, we're talking about the idealism and the beauty and the universal love aspects here. The thing is, with this aspect, it's going to be reflected back to you. You might not know it's happening inside of you unless it's reflected back to you in the context of relationship, but nevertheless, it's happening. The other big thing is the Scorpio stellium. It's very harmonious for you, Pisces. You're a water sign too, and that's happening up in your ninth house, so it's not directly related to relationships, but still, it's kind of a sweet spot. It's very, very intense regarding foreign people, foreign places, and wisdom, new sets of values and understanding in terms of higher knowledge and wisdom, and how does that play out in your life? What are you learning from your conscious connection to heaven, and how are you bringing that down into a useful practice in your life? Okay, so we'll just leave it at that. I guess I should just show you the astro doodle. It would look like this. It would look like this for you. Put Pisces on the horizon. There's the big Scorpio stellium. There's the Libra new moon over here in your 8th house, okay? And then there's the Taurus Scorpio full moon over here. You can pause the tape and look at it close up if you have to, okay? So we're not dealing directly with 5th house or 7th house love and relationship dynamics here, okay? Lastly, before we get into the cards, please be patient. Got to do this stuff. Tarot Illumination membership. Click the little button up there or check the links below. Personal readings, links below. First Friday healing events, Tarot Illumination live in person, links below. Shopping, yay, links below. Books, satin silk scarf, see the links below. Okay, it's all there. All right, let's get to it. Let's see what we got going on here. Like I said, cards are well shuffled in advance, but I'd like to go to the last second so that you're a witness. Okay, now please bring in your invisible friends, guardian angels, archangels, if you have those relationships, interns, all of it. Bring it all in there. And let's make this a team effort, okay? But angels love to be invited. They love to participate. It makes your life much richer, much fuller. Bless the cards, bless the deck, bless you, Pisces, bless Tarot Illumination and the whole channel and all the electricity that makes it happen. Okay, this would be, okay, I should explain the crucible spread. Oh, well, it'll be obvious when you see it. This would be the love and frequencies that you'd be radiating, okay, for you Pisces over here. Okay, and this would be the love frequencies radiating from a significant other over here. You know what, let's just swap these around so it makes a little bit more visual sense here for you guys, all right? Please bear with me. All right, how about that? All right, that looks a little more, that makes more sense. So that's you, Pisces, okay? This is the significant other, okay? And we're going deep inside of you, deep inside of the other, to the core, the relationship itself, and to prospect some momentum. We'll look at the weather in a moment. I'm hoping you can see the crucible shape here. The crucible is a structure. It's a very, it's structure that in a healthy state, it can withstand the incredible pressures as we intimate and separate, and we intimate and separate as we all do in love and relationship. Question is, what is the integrity of the structure here? Can it withstand the pressures? Is it fragile? Is it broken? Is it good but just needs maintenance? What's going on? Okay, so let's have a look with circumstantial energy, environmental influences, weather. You have the sun. Okay, well, the reading's over. Thanks very much. Everybody go home. Have a wonderful time. You're idiot proof. You can't go wrong. Just kidding. So anyway, with the sun here, to me, this feels like this is an indication to take advantage of the really supportive astrological weather for you right now. The Capricorn energy is very supportive for you. The Scorpio energy is very supportive for you. And you might as well take advantage of it, okay? There's a lot of energy and power buried in there. Well, that's not even buried, it's quite overt, okay? This is very, very luscious and harmonious and supportive for you, okay, over here. Let's take full advantage of it, and the Capricorn stuff over here, okay? All right, so that's kind of what I was hinting at. Excuse me. I need some tea. Hold on. It's just gentle herbal tea. Nothing, no stimulants or anything. Don't be silly. So over here, what are we radiating? Okay, well, with the Eight of Cups over here, to me, it might feel like, well, higher knowledge, higher wisdom, higher awakening is really being amplified with you for your whole life, and how it's going to impact your love life, of course, is what we're doing here. So I think this little card, the Eight of Cups here, is very strongly aligned with all the huge Scorpio stellium going on in there, where you are on an ascending path. You realize that in the ninth house here for you, it is all about moving on, advancing yourself, taking full advantage of the stellium and the season here through October. And no matter whatever kind of history or baggage or failures or losses or drama, that all condenses in terms of like love energy for you, or the stuff that you feel. I mean, there's the factual information that happened in your life, but then there's the emotional impact, and that's what you carry with you when we cross over, for example. Like you can't carry your textbooks or your debit cards or whatever, but you carry the love, okay? And so you realize that the journey continues. It's just going to keep going onward and upward, onward and upward. Perhaps you might feel as though there's not a lot of guidance there, but there really is. If you trust in the energy, trust in the flow, trust in the process. So let's see, that might make you feel a little bit solitary in some ways. with the Neptune energy like sitting right on top of you, Neptune in Pisces, it might be, in some ways very hard to discern, like, who am I really? What am I doing? Why am I here? What is my divine purpose, my divine mission? And how does that impact my love life? Please, anybody show me a mirror? Huh? Anyway, what are they radiating over here? Two of Wands. Well, you might be in a relationship dynamic with someone who, let's just say they're on board, okay? However, their perspective is very, very different. They're seeing new like prospects, new journey unfolding, new horizons in a very similar way to you, but they're coming at it from a very different perspective. It feels, from tarot illumination point of view, it feels very much that it's like they're taking advantage of it in a way that's a little bit more optimistic than yourself, even though you've got so much going for you this time period, Pisces, with the Scorpio Capricorn stuff, and a lot of the planets moving direct again. Uh, that's your journey. Over here with the significant other, their journey, they, whoever they are, however they're operating, it looks like they're taking advantage of the energy as well, and putting it to good use and seeing what the heck they're going to do with it. I don't see that they're making a lot of progress at the moment because they're still evaluating. I think there's a lot of evaluation going on here, which would make sense with the Venus in Scorpio retrograde, having a very deep, intense look at what is it that you really, truly value about yourself. What do they value about you? What is it that you value about yourself? And what is it that you value about the other? How does that work in a relationship? Where are you guys going? Where are you guys heading? What are you doing? Where are you going to go in this love relationship? Well, I was going to ask you first, but I think I'll step back and watch what you do and then see what happens, if you don't mind. Okay, well, I guess that's kind of a plan. It's a little bit wishy-washy. Well, somebody make a move. Okay. So my feeling is that the love is perfectly fine there in that dynamic. It's just that there's a lot of momentum. That's what I'm picking up here. Momentum. And it doesn't surprise me with the planets being the way they are. Deep inside, what's going on inside. So with the Eight of Swords over here, you might be feeling deep. Again, it's like it's multiplied. I feel like there's a lot of not knowing what to do. I think with, even though you've got all this bountiful stuff over here, I think the Libra new moon is really, really triggering your eighth house of intimacy. Okay, so your eighth house of intimacy, and the Scorpio energy of deep, deep intimacy, but it's in your ninth house. I think that's all adding up and multiplying to be one big, big, hard, big squeeze on the heart center and the mental center. Like, what am I supposed to do with all this energy? It's almost like it's too much. With so much, it's like so rich, so abundant, so harmonious. It's like, what am I supposed to do with it all? But if you allow things to move gently, allow that you're entering a new cycle here of intimacy, and then you're going to inevitably gonna go deep, deep and wide and far away, like on an epic journey. And so you're discovering that. But deep down, there looks like a lot of trepidation here on exactly what am I going to discover? Oh, where am I exactly headed? Am I going to step on landmines? Am I going to end up lost? Whatever they call it, triangulated, confused? Am I going to become my own worst enemy? Is anyone going to hurt me or harm me? Could I accidentally harm others? And so on and so on, like all sorts of anxiety building up, and not a lot of attention about actually what to do with it or how to handle it, and how does that affect your relationships? So I see, it's like when people have so much abundance, uh, it's almost, but they don't know what to do with it. That can be very frightening for some people. Okay, like I don't know what to do with all of this. And you've got it there. You've got the love. You've got the history of it. You're heading forward on your advancing path. But in some ways, it looks frightening because it means having to go deep in the unknown. I think the Scorpio stellium is going to take you deep into like an abyss of the unknown. Not a scary abyss, but what might appear to be uh, a, a place without a lot of direction, and so you have to navigate almost with no spiritual GPS systems. Okay, what about deep inside of them? Okay, the King of Wands. It might almost be a rescue mission here. Maybe you are being so hypersensitized by the earth energy and the water energy sitting on top of your water energy. It's very luscious for you, but it might be triggering like anything and everything that's very deeply, deeply buried inside of you that needs revealing for healing in the context of relationship. I mean, there's this whole thing here with Jupiter and Scorpio and the Venus there and the Sun there. It's a real opportunity to go very, very deep into the world of intimacy. And certain types of healing can only occur in the context of a deeply loving, intimate relationship. No holds barred. Souls completely ripped open naked to each other, self and other and self. And that can be very frightening, okay, in some ways. If you're not used to love at these kinds of frequencies, it can be very frightening because you, who teaches it? Who teaches it at that level? We're used to things like, kissing, making out, dating, getting married, having like a sex life and making babies and all those kind of ambitions and things that all happen 90% on autopilot. But this to me feels like going very deep into the spiritual core of self in the context of loving relationship. And da, 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 someone out there is got your back. It looks like with the King of Wands, there's someone there who deep inside is almost it's almost like a rescue mission energy. Like it's almost like they're saying, "Don't worry, you don't have to worry. You got me. Seriously, you got me. I'm watching out for you. I can see glimpses. I know you. I have an idea what's going on here. You're super hypersensitive, and I can tell that you're going into like a vortex here where it might trip you out a little bit. I can see it. I can see it on the horizon. I can sense it. Uh, Please be aware that I am a little intimidated too, but I can handle it. Okay, look at me. So allow me to be your guide because I have to guide myself through this anyway. I will be fearless in my love for you. It might not look like that in the most obvious ways, but I'm going to do the best that I can. Okay. If things go wrong, well, please don't blame me 100%. I'm here for you, but it's your journey and I'm on my journey too, but we're in a relationship. So I'm doing the best that I can, okay? And hopefully this will show as evidence in terms of inspiration and like leadership and guidance. In other words, if you're feeling very weak on guidance and inspiration yourself, and protection and everything like that, it looks like you might be able to lean on a significant other. Okay, and they look like they are offering their facilities to you in that way. So I hope that works out for you. Let's have a look at the very core here. Well, with the King of Pentacles, to me, this is encouraging because this is like evidence of love. Love is as love does. We can talk about all the fairy tales and concepts and wishes and like manifestation ceremonies and everything. But with the King of Pentacles here, very close to the King of Wands here, it looks to Tarot Illumination as though you're in a situation where there is evidence of love. And if there is no evidence of love, there needs to be evidence of love. At some point, you need to see the evidence, okay? Talking about it's great. Uh, Thinking about it's cool. But what really, really counts is the evidence piled up, stockpiled. And the classic ingredients would be things like kindness, compassion, honesty, commitment, patience, friendship, individuality, allowing your space for you to be you, support in times of weakness, encouragement in times of fear, the opportunity, the whole idea to be able to celebrate you, where a significant other can celebrate you and you can receive their love. Okay, you need to see evidence of that. It needs to show in the relationship some way, somehow. If you've got it there already and it's already showing as evidence, then that's awesome. If it's not there, it needs to be there. So look for signs for that. Okay, Pisces? Need to see the evidence. And it might also be that this is a chance to actually almost like stockpile evidence of love, stockpile the ingredients, come to term with the ingredients of love, bring it into your life deliberately, and create that really strong crucible structure that will endure the long term. Because the journey here for you looks a little bit um, intimidating in some ways, and it would be really nice to have a solid structure to the relationship when there is so much sensitivity and fragility here. What about prospects over here? So to me, it feels like with the Seven of Swords here, it feels like being in a situation where it could be so easy to screw up because it's like there's so much like juice, so much power. It's almost like being a young teenager or something, and a friend says, "Hey, do you want to try my cool car?" And it's some like I don't know, Dodge Charger V8 multi-cylinder blah blah thing that can do 180 miles an hour, and all you're used to doing is driving like a Mini or something. And like if you do get into a situation where you feel the love flowing, the evidence is flowing, and you become like turned on by it, it could be very easy to like skid out, and like crash and burn. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful. There's a lot of good energy here, very, very luscious energy out there for you. Like it's like everything is lining up and working for you. It's just that like anything that's out of alignment with you that has not been like purified, repaired, maintained, could easily be exposed here, and then you end up seeing how like you self-sabotage in love and relationships, and how other people self-sabotage you, and how uh, people can be self-seeking in relationships as opposed to self-supporting, and so loving thyself, loving the other, loving, what, in other words, more like, hey, what can I do for you? You look like you had a miserable day. Oh, good, thanks for asking so much. Please, could you give me a foot massage? And they say, oh, okay, sure, we can do that. And by the way, do you want to like just chill later on and maybe just eat some chips and watch a movie? Because I could do with that. And you say, oh, okay, after the massage, all right? So you figure things out like that. But it feels like you have to be very, very careful so that the all the good stuff here, you don't take it for advantage, and you don't start like, which was what often happens in relationships. Once things get cozy and comfortable, it's very easy to start taking so much goodness for granted. Let's say you actually do figure this out and figure out how to get through this like very sensitive patch, going super, super deep, super intimate, perhaps very romantic, I don't know. It can expose your flaws, okay, to yourself, your flaws to yourself, about your own flaws to yourself, okay, their own flaws to themselves, and the flaws inside the relationship. Anything that is slippery, tricky, or that has not been exposed for healing or has not been refined could be exposed here with so much healing energies out there for you. So much goodness, and you got to reveal it to heal it, at least on this channel. So please allow for that. So if things come to the surface that are awkward, and let's say touch nerves with you or touch nerves with them, or the whole relationship goes into this state of like, hey, what's going on here? Who's fooling who here? Just be aware for that, and see that as a gift. See that as a chance for you to fix and repair anything and everything that is being exposed that is not working. Okay? So thank you so much, Pisces. I hope you get something out of this. You know the routine, do the cross watching and sun, moon, rising, and all of that. Alrighty. Bye bye. Please make the best of this. Reinterpret however you want. Okay? Bye bye.